When you hear the word recession, do you automatically think housing market crash? It is understandable after the housing crash of 2008. But did you know they are not the same? Let me say that again. A recession and a housing market crash, they are not the same. Hi, my name's Deanna Bradford. I'm a realtor with Reese Nichols Realtors Excelsior Springs, part of the Bill Hightower team. So let's define what a recession is. So the definition of a recession is a period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by a fall in GDP in 2 successive quarters. A recession can affect or stress the housing market because of things like unemployment or decreased buyer demand, etc. But historically, there's really no connection between a recession and a decline in housing prices. Looking at this chart, you can see that over the last 4 decades, the only recession that also shows a housing market decline at the same time was 2007 to 2009. All the other times that show a recession in our economy, the housing market still continued to steadily climb. The difference is 2007 to 2009 housing decline was the underlying cause of the recession. So let's talk about what factors caused the 2008 housing crash. Well, first of all, there were really bad lending practices happening at that time. There were little requirements to qualify for a mortgage, which made it very easy for anybody to get a loan, and typically for more than they could afford. Also, you could get these loan products for hardly any money down, and that didn't matter what kind of loan type you had. Most all of those loans back then you could get, again, with hardly any money down. And then finally, there was a huge supply of housing for sale, but very little buyer demand. So when you have a huge amount of inventory and then very little buyer demand, that creates a buyer's market. So in that instance, you have what the sales price or what the buyer paid for the property often coming in below what the property had been listed at initially, and that created the housing prices to decline. So now let's look at today's market, which is totally different. Lenders now have strict qualification guidelines in order to obtain a mortgage. They look at your credit, your work history, they verify your employment, sometimes more than once, and then they also look at how much income you have to how much debt you owe. So it's a lot stricter process to even obtain a mortgage. Also, the average down payment on mortgages across the United States is about 12%, rather than hardly any down payment back then. And then finally, we have a very low inventory of housing compared to a high buyer demand. And even though interest rates are starting to climb and we are starting to see a slowdown in the market, we're still showing high buyer demand and low inventory. We are definitely seeing a shift in this market, but it isn't anything to be concerned about. If you're trying to decide if buying or selling in this market right now is right for you, don't let the market dictate what you do. Look at what your needs and your goals are, and then educate yourself to see what that looks like for you. Life still happens, and people have to make changes. So contact a trusted realtor and have them help you look at the big picture so that you can make an educated decision on what is best for you. Let me know what you think on this topic in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I hope you found this information helpful, and if so, I hope you'll like this video. And then don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you'll be notified when new videos come out each week. And until next time, thanks and have a blessed day.